Nice to
Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me today, kind of sort of via Zoom, we have Luke, My Sticks 35mm. How you doing, Luke?
Very good, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. I say kind of coming to us by Zoom because while we have you in terms of audio, you have this like badass picture of you smoking cigars, but we don't have actual video of you today.
Yeah, my first time on Zoom, so let's
You're
just keep it
into it.
I didn't get any makeup on or anything, I'm not ready for the camera yet.
I get it. You got to put on clothes and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I got you. Okay, so today we're gonna be catching up with Luke and just kind of going from there. We'll figure it out. I think Luke has some things to talk about, so we're gonna go from there. But what are you smoking today, Luke?
I'm smoking something from a local tobacconist. This guy's Eline Caesar out of Havana Palace. It's their house blend, so it's they're Dominican Gordo. These guys are pretty cool. I don't know if anyone, any listeners are in the Detroit area or anywhere near the border of Detroit, Windsor, but these guys are on just off the bridge. And if you're looking for some goodies, and definitely if you're looking for some Cubans, these guys they specialize in it.
All right. Well, very cool. Well, nice little shout out to those guys. And then what?
Shout out.
I am smoking something that I received in the mail on Friday. I received a nice little care package from a friend of the show, Renee Castaneda, over at Villiger Cigars. And Renee was so kind as to send me a box of the where's the camera? Villiger Miami in the hang on, I took the note here. I'm trying to remember the exact name. It's the Cayonazo size. It's a 5 7/8 by 53. So it's essentially a Toro, slightly off from a Toro. But according to this, it features a different blend compared to the inaugural Villiger Miami. This is a 2023, and it's made with an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, covering a mixture of tobaccos from mostly undisclosed origins, although the company did disclose that at least one of the filler tobaccos is from Peru. So I got that going for me.
He's Renee's spoiling you pretty good.
I know, man. It's like I had him on the show, and he did say at one point, he's like, yeah, I was looking at my calendar and I saw that you were on my calendar for today, and so I just called down to the warehouse. I'm like, send him some cigars. So I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna have Renee on the show every week. But anyway, it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverbend Cigar Company. And I know Dan the Man Ponder, he's been getting in all kinds of cigars that he placed orders for, around PCA time. I know he got in the 18th Amendment from Fratello. He got in a nice big shipment from Espinosa. I know that some cigars from Rocky Patel rolled in. So, I mean, guys, there's all kinds of cigars for you to try over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And so if you're in the St. Louis area, swing on by, say hi. And if you're not in the St. Louis area, well, he does do mail orders, so you can give him a call and you can place an order over the phone. That's Dan the Man Ponder at Riverman Cigar Company. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar.
I can do that. How do I sound?
All right.
I got to apologize to the viewers for my last episode with you. I have a very obvious baritone voice, and I was on my phone, so I want to purchase a speaker or microphones.
Hopefully, I think you sound a lot better than last time. I mean, granted, I get it. You work with the technology you've got, and I appreciate your time, but yeah, you sound a lot better this time than last time.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, cold draw on the Villiger Miami. I've got a little bit of like slight spice, slight barnyard, and maybe it's just my palate this morning. And I haven't had anything on the palate yet. I do have a cup of coffee sitting next to me that I have not even tried yet. And for those of you who want to give me shit about putting cream in their coffee, I'm out of creamer, so I'm drinking the shit black today. Okay, so there, I'm just putting that out there.
Like it should be.
I mean, I like the Italian sweet cream in my creamer. You know, it's nice. But anyway, slight. I might be crazy. I might be crazy. My initial brain like thought when I took the cold draw was slight apple, like I was getting like an apple flavor. I could be crazy.
I wish I can give you some cold notes, but I've already lit mine.
Oh well, okay then. I'm gonna get mine lit then, because
that particular cigar you're smoking, I remember Renee mentioning it. That's something that he would keep on his desk, kind of thing, like as
yes,
least.
Yeah. So the deal is the Villiger Miami. It was available as a cigar. Like if you went and visited their offices in Miami, this was the cigar that was available, you know, when you were there. And that's how it got the name, is people were like, well, it's the Villiger Miami. And so then after COVID, that's when they did some limited releases. It initially came out in a Lancero size. Then they've put it out in this size. And I think they may have done like a Bellicoso or something too. I don't know.
I unfortunately have a soft flame lighter and I'm in my backyard. It's breezy, but I got a lit.
That is unfortunate. Something is going on with my lighter and I don't quite know what. And I need to take a look at it because I've got a weird flame going with it.
Nick, what have you been up to, buddy?
I don't know if a jet's off or what's going on. Oh my gosh, dude. I have spent this past weekend catching up on some work. I do have some stuff in the Villiger Entertainment Report to talk about that I did this weekend. And then come on, you bastard. And then I've been looking at houses, man.
Oh yeah, I was hearing that. Yeah, how's the market in your area in Canada?
Spectacular.
So
the thing about it is that stuff that's in the like my price range goes ridiculously quick. And so if by the time you see it on like Realtor or Zillow or something, I mean, by maybe the next day or the day after, it's already under contract. I mean, it's ridiculously quick. So you have to be it's almost a full-time job looking for a house right now. And
is there a lot of bid wars because of that? Like people are kind of highballing prices in order to get it?
And that's the other problem, is that you've got people that are selling above listing price in order to score a property. Mm-hmm.
Same over here, bud. In fact, probably.
Well, and I mean, it's getting ridiculous, man. Because like I looked into this one house, and it was a cute little house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Had a really nice detached 2-car garage that I could have totally converted into a recording studio, and it was only listed for 70 grand, and I'm like, okay, what's wrong with it? And so I went and looked at it, and sure enough, it was mine subsidence. Mine subsidence was the issue. And let's be real, you can't do much about that when your house is sinking into the ground, you know? So I opted, I turned away. I was like, no, I'm not messing with this. 2 days later, I get the email from realtors showing me that property, telling me it's under contract. So they're even buying houses that have mine subsidence, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. The ratio at which their wages to the housing market is totally out of whack.
Well, that's the other problem, is that the new construction at least around here, new construction is starting at like $300,000, you know? So nobody, I mean, I guess people are affording it, but there's a huge look, man, Trey Mack and I have talked about it. I've talked about it with other people. COVID killed the middle class. You have the haves and the have nots. And if you have, you're doing fine. And if you don't, you're fucked, you know? And that's kind of where things are at. Because even fixer uppers are $75,000 to $100,000 overpriced at this point, you know? And I'm not a handy guy. I can be handsy, but I'm not a handy guy, you know? Anyway.
Yeah, that's about the handsy part.
I mean, you stayed over here one time.
Yeah, I have locked. Thank God you have locks on your doors.
Anyway,
For the doorknobs, turning. Thank God for that lock. Speaking of doorknobs turning, wish I would have been on the episode for horror movies, man. That was a cool one.
You know, and because I asked you before this one, like, hey, do you have a top genre you want to do a top 10 for? And you're like, dude, I love horror movies. And I'm like, well, shit, you know? Well, we can get into that in the Villiger report. You can give your horror movie top 10. I mean, I know it's a separate episode, but you know,
what I
still
posted,
can.
yeah, I posted on the group, parishioners group. So, if anyone's interested, you know, it's hard too because like there's like you guys said you were talking about there's subgenres of horror, like more sci-fi. Then there's your gore, and then there's your like thriller, and then there's your like something to do with God, the devil, and then your vampire. Yeah. It's hard to get almost one of each, you know, into a top 10. But Brinker's got an evil mind. I love
it. I tend to go more. I'm not into the gore and the slashing, you know, so that was kind of obvious from my list. So I know you had some critique of my list. I know.
Well, I mean, I guess the term horror means that you're horrified, right? So if you're watching The Creature of the Black Lagoon, I guess if you were in the what was it made in the 30s?
Like here. Well, let me look it up. You know, that's the thing. It's Universal Monsters. I mean, it's a horror movie. I mean,
at a theater as a child, and that you know, you saw remember the one? What's the one? The Fly or whatever, where the guy gets caught up in the net and turns into a fly.
1954, like, by the way.
Okay, that probably shocked the hell out. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. You know, for 1954, Creature from the Black Lagoon was a horror movie. Today, it's a kids movie. You know, but such is life.
Yeah, it's probably a comedy for a kid these days.
I know, right? Oh my God, they're seeing worse shit on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So what else is going on, buddy? What have you got going on up there in the Great White North?
I am busy. The Great White North is finally starting to warm up.
Yeah.
My apple trees are blossoming. Just worried about. I'm sitting in the shade right now. It's freezing, but I'm worried about the frost. Right, we have a ton of fruit trees in the region. They're famous for it, but we're plagued with those late frosts. And if one comes rolling through, then that's it for most of the crop. You know, it's kind of like Florida. They get a frost on when they're blossoming. That's it.
You know, I actually had a frost warning here this morning, but it'll be like 70 by lunchtime. So it's really bizarre right now. This is probably gonna be, if not the last episode, maybe the second to last episode of the year that I'm doing, or for the season that I'm doing from the Aladino Mobile Studios in the Ice Tent of Love. I think I'm going to take the tent down this week because it's getting consistently warmer. The only thing I really need the tent for right now is wind blockage. But the issue that I'm finding is when I got in here today to record with you, I noticed a few new spider webs. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yep. No, if the spiders are starting to come out and starting to use this as a home, I need to put it away. Because the last thing in the world I want to do is, you know, be all up in here with Charlotte and her friends, you know?
Yeah, especially if Charlotte's a Black Widow or whatever.
Well, dude, I mean, you remember at the beginning of the year when I put this thing up, I encountered the Black Widow.
Yeah, that's
right?
not. Yeah,
Yeah, I blasted her with a fucking salt gun to hell, you know?
that's one of the bonuses of getting up in Canada, I guess. The spiders don't kill you. The zombies can't live through our winters. You know, like, come on up.
Yeah, but it's cold.
You know
I
what?
don't.
I don't know if you get any viewers, but people that know where I live, it's not. I mean, Noah's far worse than we are where I am. He's quite a bit more north than I am. Like
Okay.
we're from, the southern tip of Canada. So like, I mean, I'm way down there, but you're definitely warmer than me though.
Canada's penis.
What's Canada's penis? I'm making sweet
Canada's
love
penis.
Michigan and parts of New York.
There you go. Parts of New York. Only the
This,
good parts, right?
yeah, the scrotal areas in the like upper New York.
Okay. Okay. Well, speaking of countries' penises, are you coming to Florida?
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying to make it happen.
we're we're all waiting with bated breath for the announcement that you're coming down from Canada for Pulpit Fest.
From penis to penis. Yeah. I
Tip to tip. It's the tip to tip tour. Luke's tip to tip tour. Oh my God, this has to happen now.
we gotta make shirts, movies, buttons.
I love this. We're gonna have to make posters. Luke's
Tip
tip to
to
tip tour.
20
Oh shit. Anyway, okay. I'm amused by this. I'm amused. Anyway, yeah, no, we got to make this happen, dude. You got to get down there. I know that you're working on it, but I'm sure that we could put together some sort of a GoFundMe or something like that. You know.
That's the issue. It's just a matter of getting the time off during that time of year. And
Gotcha.
it's we'll try to make it happen. I'll try my best. I love Florida. I missed out on the fishing trip this year. We usually go to Florida once a year to the guys go and Joe, obviously. We go and,
Yeah.
fishing up in Naples, Marco Island area for a
Yeah.
week. So we even didn't do that this year. So next year's
Well,
so we're gonna
see,
go Abe.
then there you go. So if you're not going to the fishing trip, then you got to get down to Florida at least once.
I'll try.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it happen. Anyway. Oh God.
The big you get to report people that are going on that event.
Yes, I do indeed get the list of people who go to Eventbrite and sign up, which, guys, if you have not gone to Eventbrite and reserved your ticket for Pulpit Fest, just go over to eventbrite.com. It's BRITE and search for Pulpit Fest. You can find the tickets there, complimentary. We just need a head count, but we are kind of, like I said, I keep saying this, we're danger close. I think we're within 10 tickets of maxing it out. So head on over there, get your ticket reserved, and then that way you're all set and ready. That assuming if you're going. If you are not, if you can't, I mean, obviously if you can't go, don't reserve a ticket. I mean, but if it's one of those things where you're on the fence, like Luke, for example, you're on the fence. I could make an argument for going ahead and reserving it, but then, you might be taking a spot from somebody who definitely is going to go. I would say, shoot me a message, nick@cigarpulpit.com. Shoot me a message and tell me, hey, I'm on the fence. This is what's going on. And I'll put you on a separate list. And then what I'll do is I'll just check back with you periodically and be like, are you doing it? Are you doing it? And we'll kind of figure it out. But yeah, if you're going to do it, if you're like, I'd say if you're 80% or better that you're going to go, it probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and reserve the ticket.
Reserve tip to tip.
Mm-hmm. Tip to tip tour.
I've never been on that side of Florida. I've never been on the Atlantic side. So
dude, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous over there. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. So speaking of tip to tip, I'm sorry.
Where are we going with this?
So speaking of tip to tip, so I enjoy when I wake up in the morning, I enjoy just kind of lounging there in bed, wrapped up in the covers, being all cozy for a little while before I actually get up and out of bed, right? And I had learned last year that there's actually a word for that. It's an 18th century English word, snurdling. Okay. So I say I like to snurdle in bed. All right. Now there's also another term, I think it's Scottish, and it's called herkle-durkling. Means the same thing, but I like snurdling better. But anyway, snurdling. But did you know snurdling has an alternate meaning according to Urban Dictionary?
No, do tell. Is it something to do like belching or something weird?
Oh, I wish. I
You had me,
wish.
like, you had me really worried.
Well, so I may have, hang on, taking a sip of coffee here. Love when the coffee mug rubs against the microphone like that. Anyway, so I learned something recently. I mentioned to somebody, just casually, that I enjoy snurdling in the morning. They didn't know what that was, and rather than ask me what it was, they just Googled it. They were proactive. And they were rather surprised, and they were like, "You like to do what in the morning?" And then I Googled it, and I found out what they found, and I had to quickly correct what they thought that I enjoyed doing. So, according to Urban Dictionary, to snurdle means to wrap the foreskin of one uncircumcised penis over the foreskin of another man's uncircumcised penis.
Dear God.
I do not like that kind of snurdling, and that is not what I'm doing. I am doing the 18th century English snurdling of cozily staying in bed. But yeah, dude, that was my little new thing that I learned this past week was that.
And it's good to know, you know what I mean? Something that's good to know. And I would never
It is. It is.
I'm avoiding cohabitating with you in the future, sir.
Well, I mean, not to get specific or TMI, but like I can't do that. So that's neither here nor there.
Good to know.
We'll just leave it at that. But the point is, it's one of those things that I think I'm gonna have to start doing a little bit more of a deep dive into Urban Dictionary to figure out like words that maybe I use that I need to know if there's alternate, definitions that could pose me issues later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, especially that one.
Yeah, I just think it's important to know what you're saying. Words have meaning.
You'd have to change your dating site, you have to go to different dating.
Well, no, I don't want to change my dating site. That's the thing.
But if if that in your current dating site, right? So you put I love nerdling,
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. No. But no.
You may get the wrong person giving you the thumbs up, giving you like.
Exactly. Thumbs up where? That's the whole thing. I mean, it's like whatever, but no. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid using that term a little bit now because I don't want to give off the wrong impression. So I may have to start using herkle-durkling, which that just sounds even stupider.
Just keep it simple, waking up for a long time or
staying
in bed.
True. I just like lounging in bed. I guess that's true. I guess I could. I was trying to expand my vocabulary, have an impressive vocabulary, and it bit me in the ass, So, such is life, I guess. So, I don't know. Anyway, so dude, I brought something to your attention the other day, and I want to hash this out on the show. I want to discuss this and debate this for a moment. So Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, is doing news interviews from prison. And because he's apparently supposedly running for president in 2024. I don't know. I don't even know how that's feasible.
He's got a good chance at this point.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd vote for him before the other two, but that's neither here nor there. Um, the thing is, should I get that booked? Should I try?
I think it's a no-brainer, Nick. I think everyone wants to hear it.
I,
Maybe in the meantime too, get them to make a kind of a custom intro for that segment.
well, you know what? That's a good segue. So let's do that real quick.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And you're right. I used the clip from Netflix. No, I don't use the clip from Netflix. For anybody saying, I use a clip that I procured on YouTube. But anyway, but the point is, I have a clip of him saying that. But you're right. Maybe I could get him to record, like, guess what, motherfucker? It's time for 3 cigars. Specific. Maybe he's
This
gonna
is-
want money. He's gonna want money, though. I know Joe Exotic. He's gonna want money.
Got a bunch of cigarettes in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got an account where you like can drop money in, and he can use that to buy goods in the commissary and shit.
I wonder how long it takes him to wake up in the morning.
He's getting snurdled, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, there's a part of me that says I don't want to do it because I don't want to like give into the circus, But on the flip side, I think it'd be really fucking funny.
That's a good opportunity, is what it is. I think it's knocking on the door, man. He's desperate enough to want to do that for cash, and you guys talked about him like 50 episodes at this point. So
That's true. He has come up a lot, and I don't know. Well, I'll look into it. I think it could be fun.
how
But
expensive?
I don't know. That's the other thing, is I don't know what the cost is, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really willing to invest big money into this. Like, if it's like $25, I'll do it. But if it's like $400, I don't know if I want to do that.
Everyone, or GoFundMe then.
Yeah.
Want to
Maybe there's
hear?
maybe there's a manufacturer that wants to just be like, hey, Mickey Peg, we have the exclusive, we have the Joe Exotic interview brought to you by All Saints Cigars. He seems like somebody that would probably sponsor a Joe Exotic interview.
For sure.
Yeah. Mm. Well, speaking of Joe Exotic and guess what, motherfucker? Let's do the 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week, since we're already on that subject. You want to go first, or are you ready, or are you not ready, or?
Yeah. I wrote a couple down here.
Okay.
Pronunciation right, but La Vereda, Bereda from Crown Head Cigars.
Okay.
Probably one of the best cigars I have smoked in a very long time, man. This thing, you got to try it. They're kind of one of their pricier cigars. I think it's still under $20 anyways, but just flavor bomb, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm trying to remember the last time I smoked something from Crown Heads. And I'm gonna say this with all due respect. I'm not picking on them. It's just my observation. It seems like during COVID, a lot of their core lines kind of disappeared, and they leaned heavily into the limited edition releases, which I suspect has to do with tobacco availability. That it was one of those things where maybe they couldn't get a hold of what they needed for their core line stuff, and so they just started doing the limited editions based on well, we have this much tobacco, okay, fine, let's do a limited edition with that, that kind of thing.
I don't know what transpired, but that piece, wherever they source their tobacco, they're almost on their own. I consider them like kind of like foundation cigars, Tatuai.
Okay.
Yeah, they're real. You're right. The core line stuff, the moneymaker stuff, the bundle stuff has probably dropped from them, but like maybe they're still boutique. maybe the numbers are still low enough to consider that's why. I don't know.
That could be. I don't know. But with that said, so like because of that, I really haven't smoked much out. I do always smoke the Las Calaveras every year. Realistically, I haven't really been into that cigar for the last couple of years. I feel like the yellow band one from like shit, was that 22 or was that 21? I can't even remember. The one with the yellow band I thought was the last one that had like a lot of that struck my palate well. It had a little bit more spice and kick to it. The last couple of years have been a little too mild for my taste. But by and large, I mean, I like, like the Mil Diaz. I love the Mil Diaz, they make, when Crown Heads comes out with good cigars, they really do. I really haven't smoked much from them lately. I also don't think they have much. They have some coverage in St. Louis, but like I know Dan carries Crown Heads, but like there's other places, but not a ton. Like they're not like just everywhere around here. So
yeah, I remember the
yeah.
Mil Diaz. Mil Diaz is like kind of a cigar I recommend to people that have gotten into cigars and have moved out of the introductory stages of cigar smoking.
Moving out of the Connecticut's and moving on to something else.
Moving into something. Okay, here you go. This is something that's more substantial on the palate, something a little more finish oriented, right? Like, and they're like, oh my god, like, because that's when they start realizing the variations between cigars. People that don't smoke cigars don't really appreciate the fact that there is a great level of variety in tastes and everything in a cigar. They kind of don't understand that, right? But like, this was definitely one that good intro to the I guess intermediate smoker
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, that's your first one. Let me bring up my first one here. So, oh god, I'm looking over the list here. What have I smoked that I want to highlight? You know what? I'll say this one. I smoked relatively recently. It may have been, it's slightly out of the last week. It's one day out of the last week. But I smoked the last of the Blackbird Superb Robustos that I had in my humidor. And the Blackbird Superb, it's their new one. It's the Habano one that they put out. They had it at TPE. And I think when I had Jonas on the show, we talked about it. Holy shit, I love that cigar. And it smokes so wonderfully and so good, and it's flavorful, and it's easily my favorite thing that Blackbird Cigars puts out now. So I really, really did enjoy that.
Nice. That's one cigar I have to hoard the next time I see them. They're not very common in Canada or in this area. So next time I get you or out your way, I gotta hoard myself some of those smokes. I love their packaging.
Dude, their packaging is gorgeous with that super bright color and everything like that. I mean, it's so nice. So nice. Anyway, so what's your next one?
Tatuaje, 10th anniversary.
Okay.
Another very flavorful cigar. I guess similar but dissimilar to the Crown Heads. Tatuaje seems to be another one of those kind of like still small enough to maybe call them boutique. They don't have a huge production run. Really good cigar, premium smoke, man.
Okay, very cool. My next one is you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out here. I smoked a cigar from the Cigar Authority show pack, and it was the Camacho Broadleaf Toro. And I don't think I'd ever smoked the Camacho Broadleaf before. And I was sitting out on my patio. It was late. It was Wednesday night, and I was sitting out on my patio, and it was a little breeze, and I just wanted something that I mean, it's not that I was like concentrating on it. It was something I could just smoke and not really concentrate on. And I figured, I'll do this. I'll do this. And holy shit, that thing smoked wonderfully. It had a nice strong flavor to it, or strong, a strong body to it, a good flavor to it. It burned wonderfully. I mean, is it like top 10 cigars I've ever smoked in my life? Probably not, but at the same time, it smoked really, really well, and I had a good experience with it. So, yeah, I would pick up more of those. I would smoke that on a drive. I would smoke that, on a patio somewhere. It was good. I dug it. So it's Camacho broadleaf.
Nice. Camacho, yeah. Another I get cigar. We do get Camacho in the area, but that one I've never seen around here. I have to
It's
get
got
that.
kind of like a metallic orange band. It's not or a copper, kind of a copper looking band to it. Because like some of them, they've got like the red, the blue, the orange, but this one has kind of a copper tone to it, and it's nice. I actually really enjoyed it. So, and I got that, like I said, from the Cigar Authority show pack. So anyway, and what's your last one, buddy?
My last one I can't talk about too much. I'm on a gag order for it, but it's the
Okay.
fucking cigar coming out for the fucking. Sorry, I said that a little
Wait,
deliberately.
wait. Back up.
Yeah.
You've smoked the fucking good cigar.
I have.
You rat fucker. You absolute rat fucker.
I'm the reviewers here, so I'm. I get that's one of the things I get. One of the privileges I get.
I'm the promotion side. Where the fuck is my fucking cigar?
You make a good point.
I mean, come on, man. What the heck? But okay. All right.
Write a stern email to Nick.
I might have to write a stern email to Nick and be like, where in the hell is my fucking cigar? That Luke is talking about in this segment, so
Use some bold letters.
an underline perhaps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Really good though. I
was gonna ask, like, tell me about it.
So people know I don't when I do my reviews and stuff, I don't really rate them based on a scoring, because I think people are very individual when it comes to cigar smoking. But as far as my taste is concerned, it had the ballpark, man. It's a really good smoke, well constructed. Yeah, I can't go into super detail about it, but I know that you'll want to try it for sure.
Okay. Well, I know that he's working with United Cigars with it. So, I like United Cigars. So I figure that if he's working with Oliver and United, then, it's got to probably be good. So I look forward to trying it someday, Gervais. Maybe. Anyway. All right. So my last one, I've given him enough shit. My last one, you know what? I was gonna go with another one, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with this one because this one I smoked last night. I left my house. I had to go up to the post office, check my PO box, and it was a wonderful Sunday evening drive. It was pleasant outside, so I had the windows down, and it was just one of those, like, the sun's going down, so you got that kind of like golden hour kind of light thing going on. It was wonderful. And I fired up and I enjoyed the West Tampa Tobacco Black Toro on my way to the post office and home. And it was great. I enjoyed the hell out of that cigar. And it's the second one I've had recently. I had one on the show that I did with Dave Garofalo, and it's like all of a sudden I've had like two of these West Tampa Tobacco Blacks like recently, and I'm like, this is great. I love it. I need to get Ricky on the show again. It's have you had those yet?
I have not. That's another one I have to hoard tonight.
We're gonna have to at some point. You and I need to sit down and we need to put together like a care package list. And you need to tell me like, okay, I want to try this, and this, and I'll see what I can do.
Maybe, and I'll get you the fucking good cigar. How's that?
Hey, there you go. You evidently get access to them, so there we go.
Speak Garofalo, that episode you did with him. That guy's obviously a knowledge basket when it comes to cigars and the industry, but it was really interesting how he was talking about price gouging, because it's detrimental to the cigar industry, man. I mean, it's gonna either destroy it, or they're gonna have to go backwards in time on it, because it's one thing to buy a Ferrari over you know, let's say Ford Explorer, right? Because when you buy a Ferrari, you're getting composite car, you're getting horsepower, you're getting everything. But like a cigar, it just doesn't have that.
Dude, it's leaves you're burning, and
Yeah,
that's the thing. You can treat those leaves accordingly and do certain things to them to make it maybe worth a little bit more. Like, I know he talked about some of the things that Nelson Alfonso does in order to make the Atabey, worth a little bit more than your than your average cigar. But I don't think but even that, it's not like Nelson Alfonso's charging $300 for an Atabey. He's charging $30 or whatever for an Atabey.
Yeah, there's time involved in aging. There's storage. There, some of the more premium stuff, they're probably getting their best rollers on it, like the band art, the boxes. I mean, I get the whole premium thing, and I'm totally okay with that. But it's like, yeah, $300. Like, would he leaves grown on another planet? Like, I don't understand it.
Exactly. I mean, well, and dude, and you're living up in Canada, so you already are dealing with significantly higher taxes and significantly higher prices, and then also you're seeing Cubans on your shelves, at least kind of, sort of, somewhat, and so you're seeing prices on that. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an average cigar that I would know. Well, you visited shops both in the States and Canada, obviously. Like, what is there a cigar that you can say, like, okay, yeah, here in the States it costs X amount, and in Canada it costs X amount, and you can kind of showcase the difference?
They're pretty much almost, let's say, no, I wouldn't say double the price, but very close to double the price. So like the Mil Diaz over there might be a $8 or $9 cigar, $10 cigar, where here it's probably $20.
I was gonna say maybe 12 or something, but depending on the size. But yeah, okay.
So it's a taxation thing, big time. But like the Cuban thing, that to me is another smokescreen, where it's even worse, because it's communist. The farmers don't make the money they deserve for the amount of money that their product is bringing back. And there's a hype to it, right? Because it's not available in the United States. I get it.
Precisely.
And it's big time. I think they mentioned the Chinese bought out most of Havana or whatever. But yeah, I don't get it.
See, that's the one thing that everybody needs to that doesn't really get talked about enough, is that with the Chinese buying into Habanos like that, and with the majority of this Cuban cigars going to China, you've got a shortage in the rest of the world. And so, when you have a shortage, obviously prices go up. But then also you had, weather related crop issues in Cuba and all kinds of other issues that caused the crop to be smaller. So now Cuba's producing less cigars. But China is saying, hey, we bought in, you got to make X amount of money, and that kind of thing, right? Yeah. So now they're trying to figure out how to make the same amount of money that they've been making all along, but with significantly less product. And so what's one way you can do that? You can take a cigar and you can charge $400 for it. And suddenly you're making the same amount of money and you're putting out like a fraction of the output. And it's shit. It's absolute shit. So
it's the cigar. It's one of those cigars where people keep the band on it when they smoke, because they just want people to know they're smoking a Cohiba or Robusto or whatever it is.
Yeah, you're bragging.
Yeah. And, it's to be honest, Cuban tobacco is really good. I mean, there's a reason it became popular. But you're right, like they're plagued with a lot of issues with farming and social turmoil. I mean, it seems like that island's been taken advantage of for forever. When Batista or whatever collapsed, and Fidel or whatever, like it was sugar. It was, or sugar cane. Like, it just seems like they're someone's, garden backyard, and it's unfortunate to see that that kind of money that they make, not return it to people.
Yeah, it's sad. And, I know it was maybe a couple years back, there was a little bit of an uprising that was kind of starting to ferment. And that fell away. And it's just, you want desperately to see some freedom come to that country. Like, I would love to visit Cuba. I'm not going to visit Cuba now because I feel like I would end up in a locked up abroad situation. And I'm soft and I don't want to deal with that. But nonetheless, I feel like that's going to end up poor if I go. However, I also don't want to end up in a situation where, I'm visiting this country and inadvertently helping a government that I don't want to support. So it's just one of those things. I mean, I'm not criticizing anybody who does go, because I know that they do have their visitors and their guests and things of that nature, and I get it. Everybody has their thing, but and I guess the only thing I would say is if you are visiting Cuba, bring some extra cash with you and maybe, tip your waiter $20 because you've just made his year, you know?
Absolutely. A lot of
And
people go from here that they're big on baseball, so they bring a bunch of wax packs, you bring deflated soccer balls, baseball, baseball caps, stuff that toothbrushes, whatever they just shove in your
stuff that's inexpensive for us that means the world to them, and I don't know. I've been in a real kind of kick lately. I had that one episode a while back about the guy who committed suicide and everything else. We just need to be so much better to each other, as a world, as a community. We just need to be so much better to each other. We're so fucking shitty all the time,
Yeah.
But
I heard a quote on TV recently that politicians these days are children. And I was like, wow, that sums it up, man.
mm-hmm. It's
They're
true. Well, I mean, they're old, but they're children.
Yeah, mental.
I mean, that's the problem is that's the other thing. I mean, my God, well, we don't need to get into politics, but yeah, it's all fucked up. Anyway, so, all right. So that's 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. Let's, now pivot. Well, before we do, I'm at the halfway point of my cigar. What are you getting off your cigar? Let's talk about the cigars for a moment.
I'm about halfway myself. I'm kind of smoking through this a little quick. It's good. It's really good. It's got a sweet component to it. It's creamy. It's burning. One of the things I like about, probably the only thing I like about a Gordo is usually if they're well rolled, they tend to burn very evenly. There's a good, as long as you get a good draw on it. But
Yeah.
If you ever, like I said to the viewers, if you guys are ever in Windsor, which is right across the pond from the Big D, or not the Big D, you know what I'm talking about.
Luke likes to hang out in the Big D.
I like to wake up.
You snurdling there, buddy?
Morning. But basically, if you're from around here, if you cross the Ambassador Bridge,
Okay.
they're like 10 minutes away. Same road.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying my Villiger Miami. I will admit, I'm not gonna be. I don't mean to be critical, but I am giving the honest truth here. I do have one little bit on the outside wrapper that for some reason is not wanting to truly catch and burn quite right. So I do keep kind of touching that up to keep that part kind of caught up with the rest of the cigar. And it's really just the wrapper or wrapper binder maybe, but the filler around it's like, burning fine. So I don't know, whatever, but it's a solid medium. I'm getting some really good leather and coffee notes now. Granted, I am drinking my coffee, so it might be it. But kind of a nutty component has started to creep into the middle. Like when you get at about the middle point. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this thing kind of gets near the end. So,
Compared it to the other Villiger stuff, it's how does it fare like comparison wise? Is it like You smoke Villigers more than I do.
It's right in the ballpark. I mean, look, dude, I smoked the hell out of the 1888 Nicaragua. That thing is, although I'm getting kind of low on it, Renee. I need to have more of them. But anyway, I smoked the hell out of the 1888 Nicaragua, and that one has a little bit more spice. This one is kind of less on the. This one's more of other notes. It's not so much spicy. It's definitely more of like a rich kind of flavor to it. You know, like I said, leather and coffee, kind of a nutty component. We've kind of that was more the first third. We've kind of shifted more into like a nutty component in the middle. But it's flavorful, but it's got a nice medium body to it, and I dig it. Look, man, you've smoked some Villigers at least. I mean, I like their cigars. They make really good solid cigars. By and large, they smoke wonderfully. Construction's good. This is the first time I've ever had, one where I've got this, and you can where's the camera? You can see I've got one little spot there that just the wrapper just will not quite catch right. So I keep touching it up, but I'm keeping it even with the rest of it, and it's smoking really well aside from that, and smoke production on it's been good. So I like this cigar a lot.
I did smoke that the care package from last year's Pulpitfest. It's really good. In fact, I think I lost my cigar virginity to Villiger. Is way back when. I basically only had cigars and stuff when I was fishing, and the little Villiger square ones. They're like a machine roll exports. Those was basically were my introduction to cigar smoking, and those are
really
good stick, man. It's a good cigar to have. People who smoke them know what I'm talking about.
And that's the thing. Villiger as a company, they've been around so long, and they're so big overseas, and it's just one of those things that, they're creeping into the United States and everything. So it's still kind of a new brand to those of us here in North America, but the machine made stuff is huge overseas, and the part that and Renee touched on it in my interview with him on Friday's show. He was talking about the Villiger family coming to PCA, and he was kind of touring around with them. People don't realize since 1888 they've been around, and it's still a family-owned company. This is a really big company, but it's not like General and Altadis and all these like corporations. This is like a family-owned, legit family-owned company. It's like Newman, or it's like Fuente or Padron. It's a family-owned business that just has been big in Europe versus big in the United States.
Yeah, I get that vibe from Renee. He seems like a nice guy. I actually, hopefully, if I make Florida, I'd like to meet him, because I obviously I don't know if you know I speak French, but I know he does.
Yeah.
So I want to brush up my French with him. He seems like a family guy. You know what I mean? It seems like
you and Renee would hit it off so incredibly well. Like,
we'll try to
I mean, Renee, look, let's be real. Renee's going to hit it off with everybody. But he's a very personable guy. And, it's funny. I had a parishioner text me, this weekend after listening to that episode, and they said that Renee is the kind of guy that they're jealous of, because he's the kind of guy who has got a job that every day he wakes up and he's happy and he's digging life, or at least it seems that way, and I could believe that. I could totally see that, because every time I talk to him, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's having a good time. I've never seen the guy. I mean, it's not like I see him every day or talk to him every day or anything like that, but like he never seems stressed or anything other than super chill and having a good time. So yeah, he's just living life, man. So yep, you'll meet him if you come to Pulpit Fest, because like I said, he's making a big push with it. He's going to be there, I think, the whole thing. So he'll be there. So Well, speaking of Villiger Cigars, let's go ahead and do this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to villigercigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right, buddy. So it's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. And do you want to go first or should I?
Go ahead. Go for it.
So this weekend at the local drive-in, because I still have a drive-in near me. Back in the day, there were a shit ton of them, but now there are not. And but I still have a very active and vibrant drive-in theater in my area. And this weekend they had their annual, what they call the Iconathon. Okay. And it's actually the second annual, which I can call it the second annual now because they've had it. People that call things annual events, I get very particular about. There's no such thing as a first annual. Anybody who says it's a first annual, they're wrong. It's the inaugural. And technically, I don't believe you can call anything a second annual either, because until you actually have the second event, it's not an annual event. You see what I mean? You have to have at least two before you can call it an annual event. Then it can be the third annual. But I'll go ahead and call it the second annual because it did take place. Anyway, so the way it works is it's a 2-day deal, Friday and Saturday. They have two screens there, and on each screen they show 3 movies. And so they're late nights. And so the first evening, I went over there and I saw 3 movies. I saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, followed up by Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis, and then it ended with Popeye, the Sailor Man, with Robin Williams. Now, the beauty of this is I parked far enough back that I could also see the second screen. And on the second screen, they played Conan the Barbarian, followed by Flash Gordon, and then Xanadu. And so the way it works is it's 2 radio frequencies, localized radio frequencies. And so you tune your radio to the frequency for the appropriate screen. Well, when they give you the form at the box office, when you pull in, the form has both frequencies on the paper. So I was able to sit and flip back and forth. Like, I'm watching Willy Wonka. Well, then I see something going on over at Conan. So I switch the frequency and I watch Conan for a little while. Then I switch back to Willy Wonka. And so I did that. And that was a lot of fun Friday. And then Saturday, I went back. I said, fuck it. I went back. And Saturday night, screen 1, which is the one I primarily focused on, was Godzilla from 1954, followed by Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and then the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Screen 2 was The Mummy from 1959 with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, followed by The Gorgon, which I didn't know what that was. That one was unfamiliar to me. And then The Toxic Avenger, which I don't really care for the trauma, movies like Toxic Avenger and all that. But I will say, I'm sitting there, I'm watching Rocky Horror, and I can still see screen 2, and I just kind of look over, and there's just boobs everywhere. So it's like, there you go. You got a lot going on at the drive-in that night.
Yeah, Troma's got. I mean, they've obviously made a lot of movies, but some of their top ones are legendary, man. That's one of them for sure.
But dude, I love the drive-in. It was a nice weekend. Admittedly, it was a little chilly, so I brought a lot of blankets. But you can sit out, you bring your own snacks. I mean, they have a concession stand and everything, but you can pack all your own snacks. You can bring whatever. And the best part, the only thing they care about is weed. If you're smoking weed, they don't want you there. But dude, I can sit and I can smoke my cigars all day long at the drive-in theater, and nobody gives 2 shits.
Dude, that's amazing.
It's a wonderful experience. So,
that I do here, trust me.
But they show movies there all the time. I mean, like not this weekend, but the prior weekend, they had the double feature of the new Ghostbusters followed by the new Godzilla versus Kong. So, I mean, they do stuff all through the season. I mean, I think they stopped showing movies maybe in October, right after Halloween. And then they take a couple months off when it's cold. But I mean, this is not going to be the first time I'm at the drive-in, this season. Because that's the other thing. As if I go by myself, it's $13 for me to get in. So if it's a double feature, I'm paying $6.50 a movie. If it's in this case, a triple feature, I mean, I'm paying what, like a little over $4 a movie to go and see movies like this. I mean, and I know they're all movies I could watch on streaming and whatever else. And I've seen Willy Wonka a billion times. I've seen a lot of these movies before, but hell, actually, now that I think about it, I think I've seen all of the movies before. But nonetheless, it's like it was fun. It was something to do, and it was inexpensive. And right now, I'm tapped. My tax bill was high, and I am tapped for cash.
Yeah,
So,
is
anyway.
bring one of the benefits, obviously, of bringing your own food.
Mm-hmm.
Modern automobile with a plug in it, man. You bring your own popcorn popper, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it right there on the passenger seat.
Dude, I'm saying, and I mean, and even if you don't want to do that, you just pop it at home and bring it, or hell, if you really wanted to get crazy, they have those really tiny solo stoves, those real personal size solo stoves. Dude, you could probably start a little fire and roast a hot dog real quick if you wanted to. I don't know what they would think of that, but I'm sure you could do it if you sit far enough back and you're not disrupting anybody.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Makes you want to move to the United States, dude.
Freedom, buddy. Freedom.
I know.
Well, I kind of wonder, like, I think the drive-in as an experience, I think that's something that I know it takes up a lot of land, and land is valuable, and I guess that's maybe why it kind of is not feasible. But you almost got to wonder if maybe in this post-COVID world that we live in, if maybe more people would be open to that as a throwback novelty idea, because I'll say it was busy. People were packing in there, especially for Rocky Horror. You had all the people dressing up in lingerie and tidy whities and like acting that shit out. And dude, and mind you, it's like in the like low 40s by the time Rocky Horror's starting, and you've got women running around in the white bra and panties, and the guys in the tidy whities and everything, just like dancing and shit. I mean, these people were hardcore.
So I'm now beginning my phase of selling my house and moving there.
There you go.
You had me at the 90s running around.
Come on down, dude. St. Louis gets a bad rap as a dangerous city. I mean, there are parts of it that are really shitty and you don't want to go to, but the St. Louis area, it's not bad. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to convey this over the course of a weekend. Like when you've been in town for Pulpitfest, there's a lot of really cool, badass shit here in this city to experience.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
while I'm bitching about housing prices and everything, in the grand scheme of life, the cost of living in this area is actually very low.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll have to make my way down there if I don't make the Florida trip, just to make a visit or something.
you should. It'll be fun. So, okay, buddy. So what have you watched lately?
I don't watch too much TV. I'm more of a Renee kind of guy. I do podcasts and books, but my little guy, my son,
well,
I made him
talk about whatever.
Hey,
okay.
I made a list of movies to watch with him. So we've been kind of getting through that list. Just some staple '80s movies that he kind of a must watches, So we watched the Burbs the other day, which
fantastic kind of movie.
Yeah, and I didn't really realize it till last week when we watched it. When you're zooming in at the start of the movie, you zoom in on planet Earth, and as you're coming in closer to the burbs, to the suburbs that the movie takes place, it's like where Dan Ponder's shop is.
Is it really?
Yeah, like it zooms into St. Louis. I think it is. It zooms into St. Louis, and it's like near. I mean, you got to watch it. Just watch the starting and tell me, because it appears to be Crestwood, Missouri.
Huh. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna have to look at that now that you say that. I can't. It's been a while. I mean, I love that movie. It's been a while since I've watched it, but this was a good excuse to actually sit and watch The Burbs again. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
What a classic.
Sure.
Okay.
Hilarious. All right.
As far as anything else, I'm a podcaster, right? Podcast. I am reading a book, Conquistador, by a gentleman, Buddy Levy. Basically, it's just a story about Cortez taking over, giving Montezuma the ass kicking for the Spanish. Just a history book. But I'm planning
Giving
on
Montezuma the ass kicking.
Yeah, the ass kicking for the Spanish king. I mean, by all accounts of the way they describe how the Aztecs lived, it was, it was a beautiful civil. Of course, except for the slaughtering of their own people for sacrifice.
Yeah.
Even Cortez, mentioned that it eclipsed Spain. It was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. I'm focused on the idea of giving Montezuma the ass kicking. Yeah. Although, in all fairness, Montezuma did get his revenge.
And I mean, black powder versus spears is kind of it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, that's an ass kicking waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
Montezuma. Montezuma brought a spear to a gunfight. So
they literally thought they were fire-breathing gods. These big cannons going off, and they had early versions of the pistol. But other than that, I watched or listened to a couple podcasts. I did remember Crooked City. I mentioned to you.
Yes,
there's a new one out. It's really good. It takes place in your area, Dixon, Illinois, Crooked City.
Okay. Yeah, you've told me about that, and I haven't gotten around to listening to it yet.
Rally. It's I think Reagan was born there.
Yes, he was.
But unfortunately, this particular lady in the story kind of overshadowed, that because she basically stole so much from the city or whatever. But it's a good podcast. It's basically about a person working at City Hall.
Wait. An Illinois politician that stole from the people?
Yeah.
I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that.
She worked, I don't think her position was voted. She worked at City Hall, like as in like a clerk's office or whatever it was. She was in charge of balancing budget or whatever, but she stole over 20 years straight. So, which makes everyone look like they're in on it, because how could you possibly steal $40+ million from?
You say that, but dude, I'll tell you what, it's insane what some of these people that manage the books get away with. So locally, we have a lady who she was the bookkeeper for a school district in the county just south of me. She left that position, I think maybe, was it last year? It was 2022. She left that position. She got a job at a school district in the town where I have my newspaper. And she worked there for about a year. And it came out that after she left the previous school district, the new bookkeeper came in, couldn't figure out the numbers, started digging into the books, and she'd been skimming money from different accounts for herself. She paid herself in excess of like 200 grand more than her salary was. And what she was doing is there were like cash accounts. So like, for example, there were soda machines in the cafeteria where the kids would, put their quarters in and they'd buy a soda. Well, she was skimming those cash accounts and paying and giving herself extra money to supplement her salary. And she was running it through payroll to where she was paying herself more. And that way she was paying taxes on it and everything. But what it was doing is it was bumping up her salary amount so that when she got her pension, when she retired, she would retire at a higher salary amount, which means her pension would be significantly higher. So she ended up getting in trouble, not just for the theft of the money, but also technically pension fraud at that point too. But then, so she's working at this school district in my area. She gets arrested for what she did down in Colombia. And so now the school district in my area, they let her go, obviously. And then they start doing a forensic audit, and she was doing the same shit there.
Unbelievable.
And I'm thinking to myself, why would you take another job somewhere else when you know? I mean, she had to know she was going to get caught when she left the job. You would think anyway.
But exit strategy. It's some weird type of evil to think about a person. These types of funds and money. You think of kids playing on swing sets that the city put up, or like you said, the pop machine that the kids. She's stealing from children. She's stealing from society. It's a deep evil. This lady in Dixon, she had like 150 horses.
Wow.
She worked at a clerk's office, but she was touring the United States and was the leader and award winner of the best quarter horse like ever.
Really?
When the feds came in and took everything from her, they actually made a good buck off her. I think they ended up breaking even of what she stole, because all those horses went to auction, all her Winnebagos, all this crazy stuff. Like, she was acting like this multimillionaire, which she was, but everyone in the city, I'm like, she's doing it for 20 years. No one wonders where she money,
Well, I mean, we say that about our congressmen too. It's like these congressmen, their salaries are not ridiculously high. And some of these guys, when they go to Congress, they're not. I mean, let's be real. If you're going to Congress, you're probably doing all right for yourself as it is, but you may not be like a multi-millionaire and everything. But you look at like Nancy Pelosi. I mean, my God, on paper, she's worth tons of money, and you have to wonder, where's she getting this money from? And I'm not saying that she's skimming directly from federal funds, but she has information. She's got that info, and it's all about the investments at that point. She gets information prior and makes investments and things of that nature. And I'm not accusing anyone for any sort of like legal purposes at this moment, but you do have to wonder,
it's
how this goes down.
Like dabbling with your own stocks, right? Like, if you have insider information, in other words.
There, the Canadian said the specific phrase, the insider information. The American did not, so don't come after me. Yeah, so yeah, exactly.
Bother us over me.
Sorry.
I'll have to offer coffee or something, eh?
No, it's all fucked up, but no, I need to get to that one. I have that one downloaded. I just haven't listened to it yet. Have I downloaded anything else that I haven't? I have a lot of podcasts like downloaded that at some point, when I have time, I'll dig into them. Let's look and see what
one last one I have to mention is the guys from Smoking Butts.
Yeah.
I got my regular downloads, and those guys they got it going on, man. They got the good feng shui. Like, they have really good. I don't know how it works. Like, it's hard to, like, I'm obviously never not on the show often. I don't do podcasts often, so overlapping everyone's conversation and trying to get your word in, right? And it's like those guys just have it natural, man. They had a good show.
They do, and and I know you and I are kind of stepping on each other a little bit. That's the problem with Zoom, is you have that little bit of a delay. But yeah, no, they do. Now they have taken a month off. I think they're coming back. I think this past week was their first week off. So I think this week, so it'll be, I think, mid-May that they're back, right in time for they've got their first competition the weekend of Mother's Day. So that second weekend of May. They have their first. They have their Waterloo. So they've got their first competition coming up in Waterloo, and I know that I think they're coming back for that. But
just to eat.
I'm waiting for that.
I love their cooking, man. When they came out, the first Pulpitfest I went to, it was a dance place they were cooking. Oh my Lord,
dude! Yes, and I gave them a couple of rubs that I picked up at Bucky's when I was down in Palm Coast back in October, and one of them was a brisket rub, and I gave it to Dave, and I told him, I said, all right, I brought you this. and I want you to use it. But when you do, the only caveat is you got to tell me so that I can come down because I want brisket. And so,
Trick.
yeah,
Trick.
yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to go
They're
down
actually they're actually having a big event, like a kind of a private event, but they've talked about it on their podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it here. So Scott lives off of Lake Benton in Southern Illinois, and he kind of lives on like a little bit of a cul-de-sac, dead end street. And so he and his neighbors every year they do like a barbecue competition amongst themselves. And so you'll have like, half dozen guys out there, cooking. And it becomes kind of a little block party where everybody, you got these guys cooking and competing, and then everybody brings sides. And so then it becomes a nice little cookout next to the lake. And so I went last year, and the side that I brought was a 30 pack of Bush Light and a gallon Ziploc bag full of cigars, and they were happy with that. Anyway, that's coming up on May 18th, and I definitely plan on going down there and getting my barbecue on. So
I need some Canadian sides,
I mean, get down here and bring the Canadian sides, and we can party at Lake Bit.
Yeah, I'll bring some Canadian bacon.
There you go.
There you go.
Some of that sauce. Dave loves that sauce that you gave him at Pulpitfest.
I gotta hook him up with that. I want him to try the original. The original is like more of a mustard base.
Okay.
But I gave him the competition sauce. Yeah, I'm gonna hook those guys up with that again for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You come down, they can sauce up some ribs with it. I mean, it's a good time, man.
Right on.
So, and the nice thing about that part of the year is that it's going to be warmer out, but I don't think it's going to be like brutally hot out either. So sitting by the lake like that and everything, dude, it's a nice, pleasant day. Last year was a gorgeous day. I had to leave early. I had plans that evening, and so I think I had a date that night. But I had plans that evening, and this year I'm not planning shit that evening, and I plan on being able to stay down there and enjoy myself a lot longer. So
nice. Yeah,
it's gonna be a good time.
Avid fisherman myself, so I'd like to go. Like I went down there ever, I'd love to bring a rod and reel, man. By the looks of it, there's a lot nice lakes there and stuff.
Dude, he's right off the lake, so you literally could just walk down and do that. I think he's got a little dock, so I mean, it's a nice time. Actually, if you do come down to Pulpitfest, you ought to consider. I don't know how easy it is to travel with that, but I know Ken. He lives off of a little intercoastal waterway,
Yeah.
And so like there's all kinds of shit trolling by his place. I know he's got a dock off the back of his property. And I'm not forcing Ken to do this, but I know last time I was down there we had a little private VIP deal in his backyard. He got the fire pit going, and we sat around and had some cigars and drinks and stuff. And dude, you'd hear stuff splashing in the intercoastal there. I mean, there's all kinds of shit.
I think out of all places, like obviously when you fish in Florida and come back here, Canada has fishing, don't get me wrong, but once you hit that salt water, warm air, and nail your first tarpon or something, big red, I mean, it's amazing fishing down there.
It's a different experience for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, well, anyway, all right. Well, that's what we've been entertained by. So that's good. It's good. We got that taken care of. Well, now let's hear about My Monthly Cigars. This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks. while you guys are over there, make sure you check out the fucking good coffee. And I know that information about the fucking good cigar is going to be coming soon. Nick has a banner at the top of the website where you can sign up to get get on the email list related to that. And he'll be sending out pre-order information really soon. So you're going to want to get in on that if you're interested in trying the fucking good cigar, because I do know it is a limited edition product. There's only so much of it available, and I do feel like it's probably going to go relatively rapidly. So, you're going to want to make sure you're on the list for that, because when it hits, you're going to want to be able to pull the trigger on it pretty quick. So, it's mymonthlycigars.com.
And if you trust my judgment, know that it's definitely a good cigar. Hopefully I know he's going to do well with it, but hopefully this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Get some different sizes, maybe different blends, but you'll definitely like it.
I think that's his. If this goes well, I think his plan is to do periodic limited releases of various things. I don't know if he's going to stick with the same blend, move to different blends, kind of what he's going to do with it. But I do know that he's toying with that idea if this goes well. So we'll see. I mean, it's proof of concept. We'll see how it goes and see if there's more down the road. So I have entered in the final third of my cigar, and I'm digging it. The spice level has kind of picked up just a little bit, not anything oppressive, but I am getting some of those tingles on the tongue that kind of indicate there's a little bit of a spicy component that's kind of built into it. How about you? What are you getting on your cigar? Are you in the final third? Or are you still dealing with your 6x60 there?
I am getting near the end, actually.
There you go.
Similarly, little ramp in power, and it's like almost a floral component to it. I don't know if you've ever tried. The French have a seasoning with lavender in it. People put it in rice.
Okay.
Almost like it's on the tip of the tongue, but it's like floral. It's very almost like lavender, man. It's really good. It's just a great stick, man. And I mean, this is a reasonably priced stick as well, like with their house rolls.
Okay.
Bad. I like to once in a while indulge in something that won't break the bank, right?
Oh, dude, no kidding. I mean, you have to have some cigars that are relatively inexpensive so that you're not burning, $40 a day smoking cigars, I mean, and that's just me. That's United States prices. I mean, I can't imagine if you're talking everything is about double in your area. My God, I mean, my smoking habit could be more like $80 a day, and that's not feasible at all.
Cubans on the regular over here, you might as well just turn to crack.
Yeah.
It's just like, it would be. There's always have to like, I call it humidor filler, right? Just like
Precisely.
Helps keep the humidity in the go ahead, sir.
No, you're right. I mean, and I'm still seeking that really good, really inexpensive cigar. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got plenty of I'm wanting to say Toscanos, but it's not Toscano. It's the Tatiscan. Plenty of the Tatiscans in there.
Yeah.
And that's a really good, inexpensive cigar that comes from our friends over at Aladino. But even those run about $5 or so a piece. I would love to find something that, if I got it in a bundle, maybe it broke down to about $2.50 to $3 a piece. But the problem is, man, the ones that I've tried that are in that price point, they're just fucking painful to smoke. I mean, it's one of you get Quorum's factory smokes from Drew Estate. I know, I was talking to my dad the other day. He was sitting out smoking a factory smoke, and he likes them as a nice inexpensive cigar, and they're not bad, but and maybe it's just me and maybe it's my bad luck, but every time I've fired one up, it'll start fine, and then the canoeing, then the mouse holes, then the this, then that, I always end up having issues with those cigars before it's all said and done. And I want to find an inexpensive $2.50 to $3 smoke where I can fire one up and I know I'm going to have, at the very least, a well-constructed cigar that I'm not going to. Son of a. Oh God. Sorry, I was getting a call.
I'm a big fan at work. Beautiful song.
Yeah, well, it's a very appropriate ringtone. Like when somebody calls, it's like, who can it be now? That kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, I want a really inexpensive cigar like that.
Yeah, I do like the factory smokes. When I go to Florida, we go to a place called Bonita Beach area. It's a Bonita smoke shop.
Mm-hmm.
I usually grab a bundle of the Maduros, of the factory smokes, just to go fishing with or whatever. Because if you drop it off the boat, you're not diving in the water for it.
Precisely.
I think that's a good smoke, and I think they're a couple bucks a piece, so $2-3 a piece.
Yeah, by the time you buy a bundle, they break down to about $2 or $3 a piece. But like I said, I just the times that I've tried them, man, they just don't fucking work for me. Or and like I said, it could just be me, but I haven't had good luck with them. I will say, we did mention the quorums, the Havana Q, not the red band ones, not the yellow band ones. Those ones, by and large, the experience that I've had with them have been positive. Those haven't been bad. But the price point on those is a little higher than the average quorum. And so you're kind of creeping more into the $4 and $5 range. And I would like to shave about $1 off of that.
Yeah.
But, that's just me being cheap and being picky. I'm being picky about my cheap smokes,
True. Well, once you find them, you'll
Oh, dude, when I find one, I'll hype the shit out of it. I mean, that's why, we did that battle of the budgets so long ago, is that I wanted to try and find something that was relatively inexpensive that we could do. And, the Tatiscan won that out. But, for a bundle of 20 at $5 a piece, you're looking somewhere between 80 and $100 by the time you, get it and everything. And, I would very much enjoy finding a bundle where it's more like, I don't know, $60 at most, and then you're talking more like $2.50 to $3 a stick.
Yeah, and as we talk about this, we're also talking about the price of cigars going skyrocketing. It's like that's getting even more rare to find.
No, well, it already is. I think, like I said, by and large, when you're talking budget sticks anymore, you're talking like $5. And it used to be $5 was the price of a normal, average cigar. So I don't know. Such is life. Well, anyway, dude, I am available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm available on Facebook with the Pulpit Parishioners group. I am available on Twitter/X, YouTube, where you can watch this. And guys, once again, if you're interested in going to Pulpitfest and you think you're going to make it, make sure you head on over to Eventbrite, BRITE.com, and sign up for that and get your complimentary ticket secured so we can get a head count. I'm going to be having a call with Ken in a week. We're having semi-regular calls to plot this stuff out. I know, like I said, we've got Renee from Villiger, and his rep is going to be on hand. So this is Villiger presents Pulpit Fest 2024 right here, man. This is going to be a big deal. Working on some other special guests that will hopefully be able to make it and come on down. It's gonna be a fun time. Lots of goodies will be on hand, and lots of great cigars for everybody to purchase and enjoy. So hope everybody can make it. And Luke, where can people follow you?
I am on Instagram. My sticks 35 millimeter is my review site. My reviews are also on Nick's page, the My Monthly Cigars page. I'm new to X, so I'm on there as well. But and it seems to be going pretty good.
Okay.
So maybe that is the future. But yeah, follow me there if you have any questions or whatever. Shoot them my way. And if Nick's listening, why don't you send him a couple of those fucking good cigars? Okay.
I want some fucking good cigars. I do.
Yeah.
I want to try those. And Nick needs to come on so we can actually smoke the fucking good cigar. I mean, I'm sure hopefully that'll happen soon. I know, if he's getting ready to release information on how people can pre-order it and everything or get it secured, I mean, I would think that we're getting close to release date time. So, it's been a minute since Mr. Gervais has come on to the pulpit. I know he's been busy. I know I'm giving him shit, but I know he's been busy. So, Nick, clear some time in your calendar, damn it. Come on the show.
Priorities.
Yeah, priority. We miss you. We miss you. So anyway, well, Luke, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I do appreciate it.
My pleasure as always.
And make sure you get your ass to Pulpit Fest, dude.
I'll try. I will try my best.
At the very least, let's figure out when the hell you're coming back to St. Louis. So,
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
And I'm Luke.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. If you come to Pulpit Fest, we can do a 3-way episode with you and me and Noah, and we could talk about how the three of us are going to hell for our little group chat. We
could definitely go into detail.
I mean, at least we'll be down there smoking cigars together. We got that going on.
We might as well get used to being together. It's just this, we won't be on fire.
With our luck, we're gonna end up now. It's gonna be some sort of human centipede situation for our wretched shit, and it's gonna be like, well, I guess we're stuck with each other forever. So,
you waking up really slowly.
I just personally do not want to be anywhere but the front position of the centipede.
Yes,
that's if you're gonna be in a human centipede, that's the ideal position to be in.
Front, you want to be the one eating tacos,
It's like you don't want to be in the middle, and you definitely don't want to be the end. That's for damn sure. But anyway, all right, buddy. Thanks so much.
Peace.